23 players from Mississippi heard their name called in the 2025 MLB Draft. Among that group were 5 pitchers who played their high school baseball right here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Biloxi High alum Patrick Galley ended his career ranked among the best high school players in the state, choosing to continue his career up at Ole Miss. With the Rebels, Galley flashed an elite fastball consistently sitting in the upper 90s and at times hitting triple digits. The flamethrower had his dreams turn into reality earlier this week when the Boston Red Sox selected the Cape Cod League All-Star in the 17th round of the draft. Galley spoke to me about his emotions after being drafted.
I was in Massachusetts. I was in my host family's house. Me and my teammate from Ole Miss, Braden Randall, were sitting in the guest room. Had it on my laptop. He was sitting there with me, keeping me cool. And then we had the draft tracker up on both of our phones, and he saw it first, and he just dropped his phone and dropped his mouth, and I was just like, "Oh crap!" And refreshed it and my name, and we were like, "Oh my gosh!" There's no way. It was almost like relief. I just felt light. And it was one of those things where it was processed, oh my God, it happened. But it was oh my God, it happened. Is it really happening? And I was just kind of shaking a little bit because it's just a dream come true. And I remember calling my mom, and even my mom was like, "Is this real? Is it actually happening?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is."
The 21-year-old reported to Red Sox rookie ball in Fort Myers as he continues his journey to the major leagues. The Biloxi Shuckers wrapping up a 3-game series in Montgomery. Biloxi seeking a series victory against the Biscuits. Picked things up in the top of the first. Bases juiced for Darian Miller. Drives it 2 with a single to right. Shucks take an early lead. And they wouldn't be done there. Garrett Spain the next to hit. Sends that to deep right field. Colton Ledbetter tracking on it. Not enough. Gonzo. Spain's 3-run shot puts Biloxi in front 5-zip early. The Shuckers would allow 4 runs in the second, but it would not matter. Biloxi takes 2 of 3 on the road in Montgomery. From bad to worse to a flat-out nightmare, the Pelicans Summer League has finally come to an end. The only way to describe it is disastrous. Corey Brewer and the young Pelicans roster leaves Las Vegas as one of just 2 teams without a win in 5 games. Turnovers were a massive issue throughout the week plus out in Sin City, especially for New Orleans' 2 first-round picks, Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. Joe Dumars gave up an unprotected first-round pick next year to acquire pick number 13 in this year's draft, which ultimately turned into Derek Queen. Queen was not only unable to finish the Summer League, he will be out long-term after undergoing surgery on his wrist earlier this week. Summer League head coach Corey Brewer discussed the effort that his team showed out in Vegas.
I like that they played hard. We made a lot of mistakes that you can't make to win a basketball game, but they played hard all the way to the end. We were down 21, 22. We ended up losing by 9. Man, they fought. That's all I can ask for them to do. I wish we had a little more time, but it's okay.
The Pelicans return home to New Orleans to assess the Summer League as the offseason continues. Last night, it ended where it all began for UFC legend Dustin Poirier. The Lafayette, Louisiana native laid down his gloves at Smoothie King Center in New Orleans following his fight against Max Holloway. One of the all-time greats in the history of the UFC, Poirier fell by a unanimous decision to Holloway, who he had previously beat back in 2012 and 2019. Despite the loss, the arena was loud for Poirier, almost deafening. One of the greatest fighters this region has ever seen spoke following his final fight.
You can do anything you put your mind to, and that's what I want my story to be. I want people to realize that no matter where you come from, if you believe and work hard enough, you can make dreams happen. Because I'm just a kid out here walking out with Lil Wayne, living his dreams, man, crazy. Putting on wars, with the best guys in the world. What a beautiful life. It's a beautiful story because I know the author. That's what it is. Second round, I didn't hear the bell at all, 0. I think my coach said I was still throwing elbows and punches, and the door was already open. They were coming in the cage. I couldn't hear anything. No, it was crazy. It was crazy in there. Even before Max walked out, when they were still finishing my walk-in, it was I couldn't hear my coaches talking to me, and they were standing right there on the cage in front of me. It's amazing. I love the support.
Poirier exits the sport as a no-doubt Hall of Famer. The final round of the Open Championship taking place this morning over in Northern Ireland. Scotty Scheffler entered the day at Royal Troon holding a 4-stroke lead over the rest of the field. Around 4 a.m. Central Time, the last man to be crowned the champion golfer of the year at Troon, Shane Lowry, got the roars going early. Big first bounce up the greenside slope, rolls straight into the cup for an unorthodox birdie. Lowry shot 5 under in his final round today. What a year it's been for Rory McIlroy. The Players champion and Masters winner wraps up the major season in his native Northern Ireland with a top 10 finish after missing the cut here in 2019, leaves the 18th to a thunderous ovation. Harris English was tied for the lead after round 1, playing without his usual caddy this week. Birdie's the 17th to finish in second place alone. English had to feel like a champion because no one was catching this man. Scottie Scheffler entered the day with a 4-stroke lead. His approach at the first hole was pure brilliance. Works it up onto that ridge. Watch this thing work back towards the cup. He would walk up to the green and tap this one in for an opening birdie. In yesterday's pressers, the players were talking about competing for second place today, acting like it was a foregone conclusion that the #1 player in the world would take home the claret jug. They were right. Scheffler takes an 8-shot advantage with a birdie at the 5th. It was another Tiger-esque performance from Scottie Scheffler, who wins his 4th career major championship in the 3rd leg of the career Grand Slam.